I want to thank Coach K, just for having us. It's, we're not local, we're not anywhere near here. So for us to come down from Manhattan Beach, it's a big deal for us, big deal for our program. So we're very grateful for that. I want to thank PBR, for hosting this event. This is tremendous. When I grew up, I went to Loyola High School, and we weren't anywhere near that good back then. But the point is, this wasn't going on. So something like this, just celebrating the game, celebrating high school baseball, celebrating our terrific young men, our athletes, our future leaders of society, I think is pretty cool. So we're definitely appreciative of being here. Really excited about this year. We've had a lot of the same faces the last 3 years with my time at Mira Costa, and they've kind of graduated, and so it's going to be a new look for us, but exciting too. A lot of dynamic young guys, a really good sophomore class, a talented junior class with some really top end and exciting and good, well leading so far senior class. We have Kyle Karros right here, been in the program for 4 years, and UCLA guy, and just tremendous kid, born leader, somebody I'm extremely proud of, known for a long time. And then we get this guy, Petey Halpin, in our lap this summer, from Northern California, Texas commit, and extremely talented, and has done an amazing job so far of, coming into our program and assimilating and being a leader as well. And I feel like, from top to bottom, 9th grade to 12th grade, both these guys can relate to anybody and they can connect, and it's been pretty special. Team-wise, I really like where we're at. Again, a lot of new faces. We got a lot of exciting young talent. Jonah Story, Aiden Aguilar, Nick Bakura, Billy Bazura will be one of our guys on the mound this year. We got some great seniors, Pierce Kingston, Nate Miller, Will Perez, a lot of guys battling. And then our sophomore class is extremely exciting. They went 25-2 last year, and their freshman level. Probably shouldn't have been on Frosh Soft, but we're excited where they're at. Robert Love, Ben Genizer, Addison Lee, Max Anderson, and Connor Mydroth. So a lot of exciting players coming up. Got an extremely tough schedule, which is great. It's going to challenge us from the get-go. We have Harvard-Westlake pretty much out of the gate. Get to go to Damien, ML King, some other things in the Elks tournament, and just excited for a great year. This is always, as a coach, this is when the knot starts to come in your stomach, because it's baseball season, but it's a good knot, and we're excited about it. So that's pretty much what I got so far. But again, I want to thank Brett. This is a lot of work, and we're really excited to be here, and we're excited to be part of this thing.
Steve Granado, CA Sports Zone. Nice to see you again. Last season, we had a good little run there, the playoffs, and an exciting game. You kind of touched on it a little bit. I want to talk more about kind of the media side of things, since this is kind of a newer thing. You got to be a part of the ESPN3 thing for the Boris Classic, and obviously now this. So can you touch on maybe how you're kind of evolving as a coach to try and prepare these guys for the media side of things?
Well, I think whenever you talk to the team, you try to help them understand that your digital footprint never leaves you. So when you're posting something, when you're out somewhere, that is who you are. And so you always want to represent yourself, your family, your program in the best light possible, because as soon as you lose track of that and you just think, oh, this is how I'm feeling at this moment, and I'm going to hit send, and that can go south quick. And especially we have some kids in our program with some pretty exciting aspirations that could possibly come true, and trying to help them all understand that no matter what they do, that digital footprint is going to be there, but also understanding that if you use it the right way, the media side, that you can really promote yourself, your program, and understand the importance of your brand as both a person and as a program.
Hi, Eric Sondheimer from the LA Times. Kyle, you've been growing and growing. Now that maybe you've stopped growing, how do you think that's going to help your game, or how do you think in the off season you've improved on?
Yeah, so I think I got my last inch over the summer, hoping that's my last inch. I'm not trying to grow anymore. But with that said, it definitely, when you do grow, you definitely do feel some adjustments need to be made. You're a little more uncoordinated, but I'm definitely feeling like I'm filling out again, getting back comfortable with my body, with myself, and I'm looking to have a great year.
What's your thoughts on him and what's he potentially going to do?
Well, not to put too much on him, but I think he could have a special year, and I think he's going to have a great career at UCLA, and I think he's going to potentially play in the big leagues one day. I mean, sorry, that's a lot, but I think, one of the biggest things you look for in players is temperament, and do they understand kind of, what this whole thing means, and do they know what the work requires? And I think Kyle's done a great job so far of understanding those important qualities and what could potentially, the amount of work you would have to take to get to that point. And, like I said, I've known him a long time, so I'm extremely proud of him, and I think he's, again, poised to have a pretty big year.
Steve Doherty, PBR. Kyle, UCLA, PD, Texas. Tell me a little bit about the decision of why UCLA, why Texas, and a little bit about that.
There's the obvious family ties to UCLA, and I mean, yeah, that's obviously in the back of my mind when I am making a decision, but also the fact that I'm going to be more comfortable that my brother's there. I mean, he's a huge role model for me. Just hearing from him this season, this preseason, he's loving it so far. It's a lot of work, but like you said, he's feeling the development. He's working under a great staff, and he feels comfortable there, and like he's going to excel a lot. And for me, seeing him go through that right now, it's making me just even more confident with the decision I made. The academics speak for themselves, the baseball programs speak for themselves, the staff speak for themselves. But Jared experiencing that now, it's really making me feel a lot better about the decision I made.
When I made the decision to decommit from UCLA when I was originally going there, it was, I wanted the opportunity to play somewhere outside of California. I think that was really important for me because I've lived here my entire life, whether that's in Northern California or in Southern. And the opportunity to play somewhere, that cared a little bit more about baseball, where baseball was bigger, more important than it is in, the West Coast, I think, gets you prepared for the next level. And I think it's something important. And personally, I think it's more fun playing in front of a bigger crowd and, more energy. And my style of play is more energetic and kind of more wiry. And I think that, helps into that side of things. And the staff, Coach Pierce, Coach Allen, they all had the right intentions. And everyone, including the nutritionist, just was looking out for you. And it was a real, family environment. And that's somewhere I could see myself being.
Thank you.
Petey, this one's for you. Probably many people in this room haven't seen you play. We had you at an event in June, and then you kicked off your awesome summer. You talked a little bit about your style of play is kind of wiry, kind of, run around everywhere. But what was it? What was the biggest acclimation or the biggest change for you from Northern California baseball, the style of play, to what you've experienced so far here in SoCal?
Well, I'd say the biggest change that I've, come around is, first being able to play at this time of the year, which is huge. And then the style-wise, Coach Keith gives me a lot of freedom on the base paths. And, it's kind of a more faster-paced game, I'd say, more energy. The teams are kind of more into it, in my opinion. And style-wise, I think I've always tried to play the same style wherever I'm at, location-wise. But I'd say it's pretty much similar, except for the energy, which I mentioned before.
Any other questions? I'll keep asking. Nobody else has questions. Petey, talk a little bit about your summer with not only area code games, but obviously your experience with USA Baseball. What was that like for you?
For sure. PDP was a really important, event for me, being that it gave me a chance to play with the best players in the country at my level, and it gave me lots of opportunities to learn from some of the best staff that I've ever been a part of. I liked the waking up every day, having a goal in mind, knowing your schedule, knowing what you're going to do, and there was nothing else on my mind besides baseball, and that was really important. Learning what how I like to play, what kind of style best fits against better competition, what I'm good at and what I'm not so good at. And you get away with some things in high school, but when you're in that environment, you're tested to your abilities. And I think it was really important for me to see, what I needed to work on and what I could do better. And both of those events with, either Coach Leggett, Coach Ritchie, those guys, I owe the world to them helping me, advance, because I think going into the summer I was a little outmatched and a little overpowered, but after working with them and seeing what I needed to improve on and someone really giving me a thing to work on, it really helped me out throughout the entire rest of the year.
And Kyle, how about you? Like your experience with area codes, the whole tryout process, the experience of making the team and being there and all that good stuff.
Pretty much everything over the summer. It was just a great experience. For me right now in my development, I'm really just trying to do any baseball thing, any event, just to get more experience playing in front of a lot of people, playing in front of a lot of scouts. Anything that's really putting you under that pressure and with that level of competition, it's just ultimately going to better you as a player and a person.
Any more questions for head coach Keith Ramsey and his student athletes?
You mentioned him earlier, Jonah Story. I remember seeing you guys at St. John Bosco a couple years ago, and you told me, hey, this kid's got a chance to be okay, and looks like he's fulfilling that. Talk a little bit about him, his role this year on the mound for you potentially, as well as in the outfield and definitely at the plate.
Yeah, so Jonah's been tremendous. Another kid I've had the luxury of knowing for a really long time, and you see him progress, and he gets to a point where this summer you start to see some signs, and then he's really, I think the light bulb's gone off. Can throw 3 pitches for strikes, competes on the mound. One of those guys that really has joy when he plays. I mean, plays with passion, enthusiasm. He can hit, he can run, he can play outfield. Very versatile. I mean, for me, he's definitely a Division I guy, and I think that day is coming. But he's a kid that you absolutely love to have on the team, because every time he's out playing, you can tell there's nowhere he'd rather be than on the baseball field at that point. So he's going to be huge for us. He's going to hit in the middle of the lineup. He's going to start every day and be on the mound. And I think him along with Nick Bakura in the junior class and Aiden Aguilar, Dylan Knowles, there's some really good juniors too that we're excited about. So, but yeah, I think the world of Jonah.